Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Drop Lab. I'm back in the garage and you guessed it, I am back on the 720. Today, let's talk instrument bezels. Now, I'm about to say the D word, okay? Datsun gave us instrument bezels down in the center console, but for some reason they left them out of the instrument cluster. And if you're like me and you're a baby of the 70s, I love a good instrument bezel. Reminds me of Speed Racer, IndyCar driving. It just seems fast. It's almost like that 105 on the dash could be 110 with a hill and some wind and another carburetor. But I wanted to make my own. I seen a couple online and I wanted to make my own. So I got me a router and some MDF, a little extra time, and I came up with something like this. Now, of course, they didn't stay this way, but you know, if you got that wood grain dash, that would fit in. But I wanted silver on mine, so I'm gonna show you how I did it. Let's go. Okay, we're over here. We have our 3/4 inch MDF, and we have our circle jigs. These are actually the size of our rings that we're gonna be cutting. What we're gonna need to do is I'm gonna take a pencil and I'm gonna mark a circle. I'm gonna trace each one of these, as many as I can on this board, and then we're gonna take it over to the drill press and we're gonna drill a hole in the center all the way through. Doesn't have to be exactly center, but as close to center as possible. And that's gonna be for our pin for our circle jig on our router. And we've got our circle jig set up in a plunge. We got a plunge router set up here, and we've got two depths. We've got one depth, which is 5/8, and then we got our other depth, which is 3/8. Those are the only two depths we're gonna need to accomplish this. I'll put the measurements for each circle cut on the screen so you'll be able to see them. But basically we have a spiral bit set up in our router, and again, there'll be 4 cuts. There'll be 2 on the back and 2 on the front, but the actual order of the cuts is the first cut will be on the back, you'll flip it over, you'll do 2 cuts on the front, then that'll actually free the puck. It'll be a puck at that time, it'll be circular. And then we'll just take that puck, flip the puck upside down, leaving the board, double stick tape the puck down, and then we'll make our last cut. So our first cut will be cutting this edge right here, which will give us our face depth, and the face depth is 1/8. Then we will flip our board over, we'll make our second cut, which will be this outside edge. Then our third cut will actually be this inside edge, and that'll free the puck. And then we're gonna take the puck out, flip it upside down, double stick tape it down to the table, and then make our fourth cut, which will be this cut right here, which will free us, actually free the part, so we'll just end up with this part by itself. So let's get that taken care of. Okay, I'm back from the drill press. I've got all of my center holes drilled, and again, they don't have to be in the exact center. It's kind of, you know, just pretty close to the center, because this is just a guideline. And one of the reasons that it's important to use the drill press instead of a hand drill is because we want our guide hole to be straight up and down, because we're actually going to be cutting on both sides of this wood. We're going to cut on this side, and then we're going to flip it over, and we're going to kind of cut on the other side. And we want our pin, you know, to make sure that the cuts line up and we're not cutting left or right from center. So I've already went through and I've marked them. Our large ones is 1, our second size is 2, and our smaller size is actually 3. So I'm gonna cut all the large ones, then go back and cut all the 2s, and then cut all the 3s. So I make sure I don't lose my cuts, because it's a lot of repetitive cuts. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and start our rear cuts. And we're gonna go down 5/8, so we're gonna do this actually in 2 cuts. We're gonna do our 3/8 cut, then our 5/8 cut. Let's go. Now with each other hole, it'll be the exact same thing over and over again. So let me get that taken care of and I'll cut you guys back on. Okay, it looks like even my memory's bad. So we're gonna have to use double stick tape to stick down the pucks and the workpiece once we make our second cut, because the puck will come free. I've totally forgot about that. So we got our double stick tape. Let's get to taping. Okay, now we got our double stick tape on. We're just gonna stick it down to our work surface. Okay, now we've made our second cut on the front and we can free our pucks. Just take your screwdriver, pop them up like that. Make sure you don't drop them, because at this point, they will break if you drop them on the ground. So try not to drop them. Now we need to take some double stick tape again, put it on this side of our puck. And just take your puck and put it upside down back in the hole. Here we go. Okay, we got all of our bezels cut out. This large one is going to be for your speedometer. This middle one is going to be for your tachometer and your clock. And the smaller one is going to be for your thermostat and your gas gauge. Now, with your thermostat and your gas gauge, it has a part that protrudes out. So you're going to have to make a notch in this to accommodate that particular part. So what I used to do that was just a razor knife, and you just want to make a slice like that, another slice, and then just run your knife under and pop that part out right there, and just kind of like smooth that out. And you're going to leave that notch right there that you're going to have when you use that. and it's going to end up looking like this notch right here. Okay, so once you got all that done, the next thing we need to do is start applying our wipe-on polyurethane. That's going to seal the parts so we can that'll make them paintable, and they won't get damaged by moisture or water. So what I actually use is a paint stick, and I got 220 sandpaper here, and you just go around and you just start sanding down those rough parts. And I also used a piece of same 220 by hand to just go here on the inside, sanding all that smooth. And of course you want to break these edges around the inside, not too much. You want to still kind of keep them a little sharp, and around the outside, break those edges. Once that's done, you want to dust that off. Just use this cloth to dust it off. And then you want to bring in your wipe-on polyurethane, and what I'm using is actually this Minwax wipe-on polyurethane. I picked this up at Lowe's. I think they sell it at Lowe's and Home Depot, either one. Just put that in the top, and come along with this paper towel. And like I said, just wipe it on. Just begin to coat it, coat inside and outside. Just like that. And what this is going to take, it's going to take about 4 to 5 coats. And you could judge based on the smoothness as you add coats and add coats. So you want to sand in between each coat with 220. And it's going to get smoother and smoother and smoother with each coat. But again, it's just wipe on, so you just want to wipe it on front and back, inside and out. And again, the more you layer on here, the easier it's going to be each time you add more, because it's going to be sealed. Because right now it's absorbing all of this polyurethane into all the cracks and crevices. And like I said, just apply it, sand it, apply it, sand it. Get at least 4 coats on there. I've realized, or when I'm using this stuff, about the time you get to the 5th coat is when it really starts to level out. But of course, we're going to come in with some primer and paint after that. But you definitely want to have it as smooth as possible before you get to those steps. So again, after you've done that, for the 4th or 5th time, it's going to end up looking like this. And then from there, we can move to primer. So let's get our primer on. Okay, I got my parts primered and sanded off. So next thing we're going to go in is with this silver paint. Hopefully this is going to be as silver as I want it to be. We'll see. Slide these to the side. Start with this one. I think this is like 2 coats. I think I'm going to put 2 coats of this on there, maybe 3. We'll see. You got to read the instructions. Let's see. Okay, our paint is dry, and let's take a look at that. That came out really good. I really like that. And you have to think, we started off with something like this, and we ended up with this. So let's get in the truck and see what it looks like. Okay, got it all put back together. That's what the final product looks like. You guys let me know what you think in the comments below. that wraps it up for this video. Look, I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the video, and you know the routine. If you got any questions, comments, post them below. I'll do my best to answer them. And until next time,
Take your system, can rock the spot. Show me how many watts you got. Take your system, can rock the spot.
Show me how many watts you got. Watts you got.
Watts you got.
Show me how many watts you got.
Show me how many watts you got. Watts you got.
Watts you got. Show me how many
Watts you got.
why y'all tell me my screwdriver just got vacuumed up?